yeah, the past 2 weeks that I was sitting here, I was looking at this exit and thinking, how am I gonna get out? Because this is a scary road train, you know? And all the time there were two cars parked right there where this truck is parked now. And he showed up out of nowhere and just parked there and went inside for lunch, because he's a double tanker. I don't know why he wouldn't park somewhere there like normal people. So I went inside and I looked. There's like two couples inside the restaurant and two old guys, like old, you know, white hair, all gray. And I said, guys, who's the driver of the tanker? And this guy says, excuse me? So are you the driver? Because I was afraid he was sleeping inside. No, he was having some eggs and bacon. So I knew that we are cool. We can I said, are you leaving soon? Because at first I knocked on the door and I was afraid he's asleep there, you know. Then it's, I don't want to wake up the poor guy, you know, but why would you park so, you know, so close? But you see, traffic here is crazy. And so he came out probably after like 5 minutes. Didn't argue too bad with me, otherwise, you know, some guys he would say, you know, get lost or something like that. But of course then I would have to talk to the restaurant people and ask them to ask him to leave, because yeah, I see like he's pretty long too. Well, maybe that's why he stopped here, because he's local. He's from New Liskirk, so he probably knows that this car is always parked here, and so maybe he stopped just to block this. But all my wheels are spinning, everything is good. So yeah, 15 days. It took me 15 days to get the stupid permit that cost $265 bucks. Now here it's gonna get tricky. Like actually it was a bit tiring sitting at this truck stop, because there's so much traffic here. It's so loud. So now we're just gonna wait for a lull in traffic. So yeah, I kept checking my phone, you know, make sure that I didn't disable the ringtone, you know, the ringing by mistake, like it happened a couple of times on my iPhone. And oh, I think now I'll go. Scary apparatus, you know. And so I kept checking. I even asked my friend in Alberta, I said, could you please call my my phone? He calls my phone and he says it goes to the voicemail. But actually that was like last week when I was just checking how my new combined phone works, right? And I said, hold on. So I went into contacts. Turns out for some reason I put him on a blocked list, so I unblocked him, and he was able to call me. But now, yeah, now I ask him to call me again. I just sent him an email, said, Can you please call me? I just want to make sure my phone works. Like, I'm waiting for the call from the Ministry of Transportation, right? And we are actually, and then I called him, and because he has multiple lines, right? So he has call waiting, so he called me from the second line, and I could hear the call waiting tone, you know, beep, 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 and I look at the phone, and it's his name. So I said, yeah, it's working. Okay. But you know, once you're on the road, it's not too difficult. You just have to be careful with steering, right? Just don't make any sharp movements, you know. And but truck stops, that's what kind of like what worries me, because I know all the truck stops on this route, and I went through here many times before with a 2+2 and 3+1, right? But this is the first time ever I'm driving with a 3+2, and so I'm much longer. Well, not by much, by 5 feet, but it's just I don't want to get into a situation where I have to back out of somewhere, so, you know, a place, because I can't. With a Jeep, it's too complicated. With a Jeep with a booster, yeah, it's pretty much like a B train. That's what it is. It's like a B train, but I have 3 trailers, not 2. I got the Jeep, the trailer, and the booster, right? So it's like, so this is more, actually, this is more complicated than like that, what that guy was driving, that tanker. This requires, you know, more skills, but I'm pretty sure I can manage this, because I drove like this from Cambridge to the yard, then I mean to the loading site, and I managed to get out of the loading site. And yeah, it does feel pretty heavy. Like, see, the slightest hill and my throttle is on the floor, and I'm in 8 high, my highest gear. But okay, finally it picks up speed, so finally I'm at like 57 miles per hour. So the good thing about the rain is that it's gonna be easy to drive, because it's not too hot, right? Because the couple of days last week, like end of June, it was like really crazy. All right. So the plan today, because I started at 12:10, 10 after 12. The first stop is going to be North Bay, which is 250 kilometers away, and the next one after that is going to be New Liskeard, and the last and final stop for the day will be in Cochrane, Ontario. So hopefully I'll it's about 605 kilometers. But you guys accompanied me on many of these trips on this Highway 11, right? So, oh yeah, 226, North Bay 226 clicks. So that would take me like probably close to 3 hours. And Cochrane, I know there's a scale in there, but usually it's closed. And Cochrane, that's where the highway turns. Like, if you stay on Highway 11, it actually turns into City Street, and you go right into downtown. And there's a big sign there that says Highway 11. You have to turn left 90 degrees. But it's 2 lanes here, it's 3 lanes on that side, so I know. See, like, I'm thinking, I'm 600 kilometers away, I'm already thinking how I'll be turning. because with this thing, with this huge monster rig, like, you cannot make mistakes, you know. Mistakes are not allowed on this train. Gotta be careful about parking, gotta be careful in construction zones, but the good thing is that at the bottom there, where the tracks are, I'm really like 9 feet 8 inches, you know. It's a bit wider, but only like at, like, you know, this height. So even if there's like a construction barrier somewhere, the most narrow part, like, I never seen a construction zone where vehicles under 10 feet were not allowed, you know. Sometimes you see, most of the time, if they make the road more narrow, there'll be a sign that usually is like 11 feet, right? And it'll say, no loads over 11 feet wide. But I'm 10, less than 10 at the bottom, just slightly over 10 where those pipes are. But yeah, I'm a bit nervous, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm a bit nervous about this load. But I double checked all my chains, triple checked all my airbags, all tires, everything is good, but I do feel like a astronaut on a Luna moon. You know, moon in Russian, Luna. I feel like an astronaut on a super important moon mission. I feel like I'm inside some space shuttle, you know. Yeah, you see, I set up the cruise control, and as soon as there's a slight hill, it slows down. So I'm thinking, what the heck am I gonna do after North Bay when there'll be roads like this? So basically, yeah. So I told dispatch, I said, guys, just don't expect me to average more than 600 kilometers a day. Okay, even that would require a full day of driving. But the good news is that I checked the sunset time in Cochrane, like my last allegedly point, right? And it says 9 p.m. 9 p.m. since I have, look at this crazy guy, almost hit me. Like, some people, like, they go like this, I don't know, like, you're looking at your phone, like, you see he's moving this way, like the blue car. You cannot see it because it's I'm pretty sure my GoPro probably switched into that super view mode. Sometimes it does that. And so then at 11 o'clock or 10:45, like, I got up at 7, I did a couple of exercises with my huge 80-pound kettlebell. Basically, I just did like some push-ups, I did squats, and I did bent row. Just 3 exercises, one repetition. But I think I did what, maybe like 10 pull-ups with in bent row, maybe 10 squats, you know, something like that. But I didn't repeat, right? I didn't do like 2 by 10 or 3 by 10. And so then I went inside, got coffee, got water, and I'm looking. I went online, I was playing with my modem. Can you believe this? Some mother hacked my modem. You know, I have a wireless modem from my cellular provider, and a couple of times, you know, I was online like all day, you know, these past days, right? and my computer was dying. So when I go for lunch, I would take the computer with me, and that nice lady Mary, the owner of the restaurant, and she's the server, and I think her husband is the cook, and she showed me where they have a plug-in for a laptop. And so while I eat, I charge the computer, and then I go. That was my routine for the past 2 weeks. And then I go in the truck, and I go online, and now look at this freaking guy, you know, like unbelievable. I just don't like this right lane. I don't know how. I see a sign there. It's probably, no, 4.4 meters. That's okay. 4.4 meters. It's good. Some crazy slow. What is that? I think it's like a RV, but like a trailer. But that guy is driving like 85 kilometers an hour. And so now because of him, I'm gonna be stuck on this hill. And so yeah, I go inside. That was my routine, right? Some exercise in the morning, either kettlebells or my Nordic poles. I was doing 3 kilometers. Then once I did 4, and 5, and then I got out my I have a weighted vest. You know, it's like 30 pounds, and I did 3 kilometers with the weighted vest. Wow. Gear 5. It's barely moving. Yeah, guys, this is gonna be a very long trip. And so then I go inside, you know, and I play with my computer till it dies, till the battery dies, and then I switch to my tablet. Like, it's so convenient to have. I wish I had a bigger tablet, you know. Man, I hope nobody hits me. But this lane ends, so I don't want to go in there, because then they're not gonna let me in. And so, and I've been using my modem. I have a modem, like this is Rogers, and I have a nice nifty 5G modem from Bell. And like all my phone is with Rogers, my tablet is with Rogers, but second number Verizon. But then I use Bell because I always need more data, right? Because of the YouTube. And so I'm always there. I'm always on the internet. And so somebody took notice of that. And then 2 days ago, I was around 6 o'clock. I still had the battery juice, so I was still on my laptop. And I noticed that the laptop slowed down. You know, like really bad. Like not the laptop itself, but the browser. Like I was trying to, let's say, switch to news website. It's loading, but super slow. And then eventually it says no internet. So basically, I lost the Wi-Fi. But I look at the laptop settings. I see my modem. I checked advanced settings. It says, yeah, IP address is this. Everything is connected. But the computer somehow was kicked out of the network, you know? And so I tried this and that, tried to reset, nothing works. I called Bell, they told me to go to my modem manufacturer website, because that's how you can change settings, right? So I changed the network name, I changed the password, I changed the administrator password, but I think that's how the guy got in, because you can go on Google and you can just type in the modem name and just ask for a password and username, and many people, me included, unfortunately, we do not change the factory admin login information. Like usually username is admin, password is the actual word password. You just type in PASSWORD, password. That's how it comes from the factory. And so I guess that's how the guy got in. Look at this moron. Fuck. That's how that's how most people, that's how they merge. They drive with the same speed as the truck, and they look at you. Why is he not slowing down? Like, I slowed down to 70 freaking kilometers an hour, he's still driving next to me. Like, unbelievable. And so yeah, I went into that thing, and I was having issues. I don't know, like I spent whole morning with this modem, again resetting, changing network name, changing network password. I watched a couple of videos online where they say how to check who's on your network, and there's a very cool software which is free. It's called Fing. F as in Frank, I as in Irene, N as in Nancy, G as in George. Fing.com. You go there, you download this free application to your computer or to your phone, whatever. You don't need a username, nothing. It just if you have a Wi-Fi, it analyzes your network and you can click on devices. And I did that on the night before, and I had the computer connected to the modem, and then I hooked up my phone via Wi-Fi to the same modem, so it was 3 devices, right? This thing searches my network. It says you have 4 devices connected, and I look at number 4. It has the name is just numbers and letters, so that's the hacker. So the hacker got in. I cannot see him, but he's sitting there and he's stealing all my bandwidth, right? And I cannot connect to the Wi-Fi. And so, and that video was pretty useful. The guy says that's how you get rid of them. You use this thing to see who's what devices are on your computer, and then you find the address, like MAC, no identifier, and then you go into your modem manufacturer's website as administrator, and of course now I already changed the username and password. Now it's much more secure, and you go there and there's an option where you can block access, and on my modem it was disabled, access block disabled. So I click enable, and right away there's a little window where it's asking you to type in that MAC number, MAC, like identifier for the device. So, but by this time that guy disappeared, right? But I don't. So, but now I know how to fight this. And also, when you go into your modem settings, it says encryption, and I thought maybe I didn't have encryption. No, I have encryption, but it's the old style, the WPA2. And I see there's 2 more available, WPA3, the much newer version. And so I changed both of my networks, like 2G and 5G. I changed to this WPA3. And so now I have new passwords, everything is new, so now it should be working. I'll check later when I stop. And so I was doing this and chatted with my buddy in Alberta, and then my phone rings. I look at the screen, it says unavailable. So somebody's calling that doesn't want you to know their number. So I knew right away that it was either a robocaller or Ministry of Transportation of Ontario. And sure enough, some guy with an Asian accent, or Indian accent, says, "Can I speak to Sergei Dratchev? This is so-and-so from Ministry of Transportation." I said, "Sir, I've been waiting for this call for 15 days. Thank you." And he said, "I'm sorry, but we are swamped. We don't have enough people." But he didn't explain. He just said, "I'm sorry for this, but we were trying to work as fast as we can." 15 days, boys and girls. Like, you gotta have a patience, right? Like, that's what I think I mentioned this before. As a heavy haul trucker, I would say quality character trait number one, numero uno, is patience. Because you have to drive slow, be super careful. As they say in Russia, 7 раз отмерь, 1 раз отрежь, which means measure 7 times, cut once. It's a famous proverb in Russia. And then you have to wait for stupid permits, you know? And so the cost was 265 bucks Canadian, so roughly 200 US. And just like, you know, because I can do these permits, actually, Ontario allows you to do them on the website. And I do have the credentials, I have the username and password, but that website, it's so complicated. It's super complicated. It takes me pretty much the same time to do it online as it takes me to do it on paper. And they still take paper applications, except that you cannot submit your credit card, right? And so what I do is I just find that blank form, single trip permit, and this time I didn't even bother doing it on the computer, you know, like how I can type to make it look nicer, just type in the fields of the PDF document. But this time I said, screw this, I just printed it out. This was on June 20th. I printed it out and I just filled it in by hand. And at the bottom there, where it says notes, I said, please call my cell number so and so, and I'll give you a credit card number for payment. And that's what this guy was calling about. He says, hey, I'm working on your application. And he says, I just have one question. You wrote trailer, so I just need to know what kind of a trailer is this. I said float, because that's what they call my type of trailer here in Ontario, float, like official name. So RGN, but they don't use RGN, they say float. And so I just said, yeah, it's a float. And he said, okay, you want to give me your card number now, so that I can process the payment as soon as I finish the permit? I said, yes, sir. And I had my credit card within my arm's reach. So right away I gave him my number, expiry date, and then maybe 15 minutes later I received one email that says your permit was approved. And then the second email actually contained the permit in PDF. And that's it. So I went inside the restaurant, had a quick lunch. I had 4 eggs over medium and 1 hamburger patty. No bread, no potatoes, no nothing. Just meat and eggs. And while I was eating, I charged my computer. So when I was in the truck, hooked up my printer, and printed the permit. And so now we're all good. Oh, that's the guy. Epps, like the hunting store. A couple of people stopped by my truck, and they live in this area, and I told them about my current hobby that I'm researching, firearms. And they said, oh, there's a hunting store. a couple of clicks away. Like, I've been driving for 20 minutes, and so it's like 20 kilometers away. But that guy has a very nice website, lots of interesting stuff on his website. You know, you can research all these calibers and different firearms that are allowed, you know, non-restricted. It's basically just shotguns and hunting rifles. But you know, a decent hunting rifle can be a nice high precision long range rifle, like a bolt action. That's what I want. I want a shotgun and I want a bolt action target rifle, just for some target practice. And I already found a couple of ranges where I can go. So hopefully I'm gonna get my my safety course soon. I told the guy I'll be back end of July. No, probably not end of July. Hold on. I need about 5 days to get, if everything goes perfectly nice, I need about 5 days to reach Regina. Let's say a week. But then I'm in Regina, right? I'm 1,600 miles away from home. Then probably I'll take a couple of days off and then start looking for a load. And then, you know, it might take me a couple of days to get to the area where the load is. Oh, I caught up with the guy. So it's that stupid RV. Yeah, it's like a pickup truck with a trailer. I need to pass him. You see, like, I'm driving 91 kilometers an hour and I'm still gaining on the guy. Well, he saw me. That's good. Slow down. And it's still raining. Stop probably, so I left at 12:10, 12:15, so I'm gonna stop somewhere around 1 o'clock to check the load, check the chains. I think there'll be I think it's over here. I think it's on this road, not on 400, but there's like a temporary inspection station. It's a huge lot, right, like to the right here. And I know I can go in there with this rig, just basically get off the road. I forgot where exactly it is, but once I see it, but it's somewhere definitely before North Bay. So once I see it, I'm gonna stop and check my load. So made it to North Bay, Ontario, population 56,000, lucky bastards. And this is the top of this huge hill. The town is over there. And as I was looking here, check all my chains, everything is good. But you know those Allen's gauges, I call them. My friend Alan, right, helped me install them. So now I know approximately the pressure. Of course, on this axle it's always higher because it's so close to the load. But then I checked this bastard over here, and it was like 40 psi, whereas over there it's more like 70. Over here it was like 40. And then I looked on that, it's just leveling. I looked over here, we have just over 60 psi, and this one, oh, so these two now are equal, like 62 or something, right? And so what I did is, so that one was, for some reason, you see, because it has a shim, and I did put in the biggest shim, red one, but you see how you can see how this is lifted. Is it this? Like that one is perfect, it goes down, right? But this thing, you can see, that's why it doesn't have a lot of load, because I need a bigger shim in there. You know, I probably should, that's what I do. I'm gonna go maybe to these guys in Aberfoyle there. They did some welding for the trail. I know they can do it. And just give them these. And say, just make me the same thing, just thicker. Because this axle is always like this. And so here I was doing hole 9. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Yeah, it was 9, hole 9. And so it was pushing too much into the back, right? And what it does, it was trying to lift this axle, right? And so I reduced it to position 8, and I see now that it became better. Some of the load from here went to here. So I think we're good. Yeah, those bolts, they popped out when I was empty, but there's a pin in there, so we all good. I'm just checking occasionally with all these. So yeah, I see it's not good. It should be at it should not go up like that. It should go like that one is. Before it was even better, but now it's still okay. But these ones, maybe I should lift the rear. Like I'm in position 3 in terms of the height. Actually, I think I should drop it. Yeah, because if I drop it, like the front is at the max, position 5, because this thing is so heavy, I had to go position 5. But so here, I think, yeah, if I reduce this, maybe position 1. No, maybe 2. So this will lower this a little bit, and so it should create a bit of a more angle. Because yeah, it was like this from day one. And I remember when I did not know anything about shims, and I went empty like with a quad, and this thing was like this. And I did a couple of videos about this, like all about shims. Anyway, so I had to buy some DEF, 56 bucks. for 2 jugs of DEF, but at least now I'm almost full, was before it was already going. So I got 2 10-liter jugs, basically 20 liters. What is it, like 4 gallons? But it's pretty expensive. But I was afraid. Oh, actually, this is PetroPass. So PetroPass, I cannot use it because I don't have a PetroPass card. And I'm pretty sure these guys, they don't have DEF in there at the pump. But now what I did, I'm gonna keep these empty jugs. I put them on the neck on the trailer, and I'm gonna fill them up when I find a place that has DEF at the pump. Should have done it a long time ago. All right, so I'm getting the hang of this road train. Pulled in here through a pretty narrow opening because I see this thing is actually turning pretty good. I think it turns better than 3+1, to be honest with you. Yeah, I just don't want to hit that nice lady that parked next to me. I can see the rear wheels just went very nicely around. You know, beautiful. You just have to basically, yeah, you see these are the pumps. Actually, there is a lot of room in here. I could have made it, but they don't have DEF, I'm positive. And these SO guys, that's a card lock as well, which means that you need to have a card. But the last, if I can make it over there, because I see it's already 4 o'clock, so it took me 4 hours to get here. Like, well, with a couple of stops I made, checking chains, and then now I got the DEF, fill it up, and then went back, got coffee because I couldn't carry 2 jugs. They're pretty heavy, right? 2 jugs with DEF and coffee, so I had to go back. But the first good news of the day, she probably recognized me because I just paid her like 56 bucks for 2 jugs of DEF. And I show her coffee and she says, "Just coffee? Go." I said, "Thank you." So I got free coffee today. Unbelievable. So anyway, I'm not sure I will reach Cochrane because it's still 366 clicks. 366 kilometers, so it's definitely, it's like 5 hours, you know, because if it took me 4 hours to do 250 clicks, right? Yeah, definitely it would take me 5 hours, and I don't want to drive that long because actually the sun sets at 9, right? But the problem with the load like this is that you gotta think ahead. What is that? Oh, it's this guy. Oh, so there's lots of dirt in the middle. I look in the mirror, it looks like snow, you know? Huh. It's probably all this old stuff, what, I'm thinking from winter maybe? Like a lot of very fine dust. I thought it was I thought it was maybe something falling off my truck. Got scared by a couple of guys on the way here. One guy passes me like a truck, right? He passes me and starts flashing his lights. You know, like, I have my radio on, because with a load like this, I think it's always a good idea. Because sometimes people will tell you, let's say if your sign is if you're dragging your sign, you know, the one in the back, sometimes a bungee cord can, you know, get cut or something, and happened to me a couple of times. And somebody says on the radio, hey, oversized, you're dragging your sign on the ground. You know, so this guy doesn't say anything on the radio, but starts flashing his lights, like his emergency lights, right? I'm like, what the heck? I look in the mirror, everything looks good. I don't see any flat tires, no suspicious sounds, you know. Then another guy, just a tractor, just a truck, but had the sign oversized, and he has flashing lights. So kind of like me, right? It just, I think he had only 3 axles. He didn't have a pusher axle. But anyway, he's passing me, and he honks his horn, burp burp. Like, you know, it can be confusing, right? So either he says cool load, or he says you have a flat tire. So after this guy, I said, okay, that's it, I'm stopping. So I found a place to stop, went around, checked everything is good. So basically, I'm guessing these people are just excited to see me, you know. And then another interesting thing happened. I was it took a while to get through North Bay, because traffic, they have a bunch of lights in there, and you know, it's already end of the day, and there's a lot of cars, right? And so it took a lot of time to get to each traffic light. And then we were at one intersection where there was an exit from the shopping center, and I see there's a lady in a pickup truck, and she's looking at me, right? She's looking at the load. A woman got interested in the load, and then as I'm passing, we had a green light. She was standing over there, like on the red. And as I'm driving, I turn my head slightly, and I see she's holding a phone. So somewhere my truck will be tonight, probably on YouTube or on Instagram, because I'm telling you, like this rig gets a lot of people excited. Just one axle, right? When I had 9 axles, nobody honked at me, nobody was well, sometimes people would flash lights, but I added one more axle, and a lot of people are happy to see me. And what else? Nothing else to report between Barrie and here. I was driving slow, and you know, watching my 6, watching for traffic on ramps. But now this is where it's gonna get slow, you know. It's gonna get slow. Oh, and my in case you're wondering, like over there was still hills, but I thought, because I already know my truck, but in metric, like I'm talking about fuel consumption, right? So I was guessing I would be burning about 65 liters per 100 kilometers. 65 liters per 100 kilometers. And as I was driving there, before North Bay, it was a divided highway, 4 lanes, and I checked my fuel economy. I was doing, what the heck are you doing? I was doing, the guy is not picking up speed at all. Oh, that's what he's doing. He's turning. I guess he didn't want me to kill him. So you have here just a little bit more, even though it's like 150 kilometers between here and New Liskeard, my next stop, it always takes me 2 hours. Because now it seems all, you know, nice and dandy, but after like 10 minutes it'll be like this, you know. But I'm not going into any small, I see 145 clicks to Jill's truck stop, and that's New Liskeard. But yeah, I think I gotta make it to Cochrane today. We'll see. I just hope I'm not gonna get caught, you know, by the sunset. Well, the cool thing about Canada is that hours are never a problem here, because we can drive, what, 13 hours, and the working day is longer, right? So the only caveat is you gotta, every 2 weeks you have to stop for 24 hours. And so a couple of times I forgot about this when I was in the States somewhere, you know, like Colorado, whatever, like driving long distance. And my hours were fine, like hours per day were fine, but I didn't have a 24-hour period of rest in those preceding 2 weeks. And then as soon as I enter Canada, because of course that's only in Canada, and I switch my tablet to Canadian regulations, it says violation. Everything is red. You have no hours. Like, what? So, but now I've been sitting at the truck stop like forever, so I have lots of hours now. Oh, but yeah, one more thing I wanted to mention. So in Canada also you don't have to stop for 30 minutes, right? Like, you know how in the States you're required to have, I think, at least one stop, not shorter than 30 minutes. But when you have an oversized overweight load, that does not apply, but this thing will still give me, you know, noise violation. So then I just have to add a comment, and when I sign the log at the end of the day, I can just add a comment saying oversized, overweight. But in Canada you don't have to do that. Goes up and down. I saw plus 18 Celsius, then I saw plus 26, now it's plus 20. But this is the perfect time of the year to drive here. You know, and I got lucky with the weather, even though it was raining like crazy. But you see, there's it's not hot. Yeah, you see, like for me, I cannot stop in a place like this. I don't think. Like the rear would be sticking out. Oh yeah, and why I need to be at least in Cochrane today is because today's Tuesday, and another hidden mine, you know, or like a monkey wrench that can get between the spokes of my wheels is the Friday curfew. Because in Ontario you gotta shut down at 3 p.m. on Friday, then you can drive Saturday, but Sunday you have to stop at 12. And so, but I don't think they have this in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, but I'm not 100%. I haven't ordered my Western Canada permits yet, because I'm still too far, right? I just left. But Ontario, so if I don't get out of Ontario before 3 p.m. on Friday, I'm losing a bunch of time. And of course, the people that own this machine are probably I can understand that they want this as fast as possible. So if I can do 600 clicks today, that's what I need to get to Cochrane. So 351 left. Yeah, 350 clicks left. So in a car, this will probably just take 3 hours, but in a truck like this, so yeah. So next stop, Liskeard, since I don't have to do these 30-minute breaks. I'm just gonna jump out of the truck for 10 minutes, maybe grab another coffee, just check my chains, just run around the truck and keep going. All right, B train attack. B trains are us. Empty. Man, and the sky doesn't look good over there. Probably gonna rain again. So I have my flashing light on the roof, and I got 4 flashing lights in the back. So my rig actually looks pretty nice from the back, because I activate each of my flip axles, right? They have their own control for the flashing lights, and so I activated the switch on axle 9 and axle 10. Like the last 2 axles, they both have flashing lights. Just because I'm slow. And so far, I went by 2 inspection stations, and they were both closed. And that's how we like them. I'm inside the lines, you know, like I like this. So it's just heavy and long, but it's not too wide, it's not too tall. It's a nice load, and this is as I mentioned before, so this is my first ever 10-axle setup that I always wanted to try. And now, after 17 years in trucking, my dream came true. So trucking since 2005, heavy hauling since 2014. I forgot when I left Landstar. That's when I bought my first 55 ton. And yeah, you gotta be very delicate with the wheel, but it stays on, you know, like this thing, it's really like a train, because there's so many axles. And one thing I did, I think I mentioned this with one of those shorties, that I cleaned up the 5th wheel of the Jeep and put some fresh grease on it. I cleaned up the 5th wheel of the truck and put fresh grease on it. And also, when I hooked up, you know, when the Jeep was just sitting on the edge of the fifth wheel of the truck, I grabbed some hydraulic oil, and it's, you know, it's liquid, right? And so if your fifth wheel is all the way like this, just it'll go on the ground. But because the fifth wheel was pretty much like parallel to the ground, all right, and it was still sticking out from under the Jeep, I wasn't fully hooked up, so I just splashed, like, you know, maybe 300, maybe 200, no, maybe less mil, you know, just a few ounces of that hydraulic oil, because I read that guys in when it's very cold in northern Canada, heavy haulers, they don't use grease. What is this? So, like, you see the guy flashing? So now I have to wonder, what is there, like a dead body on the road? Is there like an inspection station, you know? Is there a construction? Or was he happy to see me? You see? Like, guys, please don't do this, okay? Because it confuses the heck out of other drivers. Just have a CP say something, you know, if you, hey, that's a cool load. Not bound, oversized, that's a cool load. Where are you going? You know, but you start flashing lights. Well, there's nothing up ahead. I don't see any issues, so we're gonna pick up speed again. And sometimes guys do this, you know, maybe they see an animal. Actually, I did it myself a couple of times, because like somebody, you know, you drive and you see like a moose or something, right? Or you see like, why are you flashing? You see? Second guy. So that's not, I'm happy to see you. That's something that's kind of like a warning. But the visibility is excellent. I can see 3 clicks ahead. So it's either an animal or an inspection station, or it's one of those cases where construction, right? And there's a guy with a flag, you know, flagman, and they have a lot. Either the flagman stops traffic, or there's a light. And let's say there's only one lane open, and so you have to stop, and then they alternate traffic from both directions. Or there's a cop. Sometimes people do this flashing thing when there's let's say there's a cop sitting somewhere with a you know, checking speed with a radar. But, you know, I can always jump out, right? If something really bad, I can just open the door and jump out. I read about this. That's what guys do in the Arctic over there, right? They drive with an open door, because, you know, when they drive over the ice road. So I think either you drive with open door, or you keep next to you keep a set of like a aqua equipment, you know, like a tank, scuba tank. In Russian it's called akvalank. Scuba tank. You keep your scuba tank and your mask and your flippers, so you're ready to rock and roll. If the truck starts going down, you just grab everything quickly, put it on, and you swim towards the sunset. A cop. Maybe they were warning about this guy? I don't know.